Okay, I'm not really sure how this works, but I think it's like this. So I'm going to be talking about NFT values and their uses in my presentation. And you've already seen part one and two, which will be explained before me. So when it comes to the values of an NFT, there's mainly a value on an NFT because the community gives it value. So we already know that NFTs are non-fungible assets, so it is unique in all forms. So in this diagram, you can see that there are four types of values. And firstly, the underlying value, which is the value behind the creator who's made the NFT itself. So like their net worth and stuff. Second is the potential value. And so that's the future value of the upcoming artist. So like celebrities, for example, because their net worth are always changing, increasing, decreasing. Thirdly is the perception value. And that is how much an NFT is worth to you as a person. And lastly, the similar market value. So these are how much an NFT artist's other pieces are selling for compared to the one that you want to buy or that you're interested in. So some NFTs are valuable and some are not. So and the reason for that is because of the buying frenzies that occur when NFTs are being sold. So it was brought to attention like a long time ago, but there recently was a frenzy in like 2020 because I'm guessing because of COVID and um, most celebrities said that they were bored, so it was a whole new thing for them to like buy an NFT and have an NFT or even make them themselves. So there are usually like forums and chat rooms with a bunch of people talking about what they're buying and what the value is of the thing that they're buying. And these campaigns that they do in like these chats and forums are called pump and dump campaigns. So it's basically pumping up the NFT and then just, dumping it off so someone buys it. So use cases of NFTs. So first, we have the authenticity of products. So since merchandise can be like permanently stored on the blockchain, it means that the authenticity of that merchandise, like clothes, food. Um, we'll talk later on about like real estate and supply chain and stuff like that. So those can be tracked over time from like the root, and that makes it more. Um, it makes it easier to track the food itself. In this case, we'll talk about food. So where it came from, where it actually came from, if it's true, and stuff like that for people who are, cautious about their diets, where their food is coming from, or their food intake. Next, we have medical records. Um, so those in NFTs, they've recently, I think, started to try and do NFT birth certificates. So that can already introduce the future generation to the world of the blockchain. And with birth certificates, it just, if it's on the blockchain, it can be like faked, which has occurred in the past. So there's also an authenticity in someone's birth and where they actually come from, where they were born, time, place, date, birth. And real estate, this was one that pretty much goes hand in hand, like with the NFT world and the real estate. So with the use of like timestamped NFTs, so like land documents can be transferred, ownership can be established, and the property values changes can be tracked over time. So intellectual property patents. Um, so NFTs are pretty much perfect for like safeguarding and protecting innovation licenses. And I guess that's pretty obvious as to why. It's basically the same reason as the other ones. They You can check for proof on the blockchain, check where it came from, where it started, all the changes that have been made, etc. For academic records, there's been an issue of like hacking grades or hacking entry exams and whatnot. So this can prevent the hacking of school records to change the grades. And NFTs can make like changeless records for like the courses that are taken by students, and they can give tokens for each course and when it's finished. And that can also be used to check like the degree that you get and like the agreements and the confirmations that come with getting the degree. For the supply chain, so there's always been issues with tracking down where food actually came from, and by just putting food on the blockchain, that's already it can be tracked like without fault, and like I explained before in the authenticity of products, it's the same thing. You can track where it came from, make sure that it actually is what it is, etc. For the gaming industry, so NFTs, they can give like engineers more methods to like grow their income or like growing their image, and so gamers are given more of a motivation to actually play a game if they currently own that character and like all the rights that come with it. Same people who develop games, so that's already another stream of income. So the gaming industry would probably be one where you would make a lot of money from it. Ticketing, this is more in the sense of like tickets for like plane tickets, tickets of concerts, uh, those kind of tickets. So usually they just decided to the NFTs will be used as a supplement tickets. So possibly in the near future. So for example, stopping passes. So like when you're being stopped at a border or something like that. So these can be changed for an NFT. This ticket, ACAA euro sign A tickets. I don't know how to say that, but that's just what I saw. And so these can be like relegated to a one of a kind like ID, which you are then using to enter that country. So it's not just like it comes with more restrictions. So it's not like, someone can just get you the ticket and you can use that ticket. So it will come with more restrictions on when you're getting tickets to go somewhere, but that's a risk you're willing to take. And we have artwork tracking. So this has been an issue since like World War II. As we know, like most artwork has been like not lost in translation, but like never been able to track it from where it actually originated from, when it was painted, who painted it, and whatnot. So it's probably the most sought after kind of NFT work that they want to do. So before long now, like unique arts from like old experts can be labeled like following an NFT. And finally, we have voting. So there's always been an issue when it comes to like casting ballots. I recently went to vote in France, and there was a lot of issues when it came to identification, finding where someone actually came from. Even harder if you're like someone's coming in to vote for you. So NFTs can assist with taking care of this issue, since you could be given a computerized character. So individuals without actual documentation can demonstrate that their identity is what it is and that they live in said country. So this is all from me today, but thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. On to the next part.